For years, we've looked to the stars, dreaming of the day we would find life beyond Earth. From sci-fi blockbusters to late-night conversations, the question, "Are we alone?" has captivated our collective imagination. But what if the answer to that question is not the glorious revelation we've hoped for? What if finding life on Mars, or anywhere else, is actually the single most terrifying discovery humanity could ever make? What if it signals not our greatest achievement, but our impending doom? Recent discoveries are pushing us closer than ever to answering that profound question, and frankly, the implications are chilling. But before we delve into the cosmic horror story that might be our future, I need to ask for a small favor. As many of you know, the YouTube algorithm can be a fickle beast. If you enjoy this kind of thought-provoking content, please take a second to hit that like button, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. It's a massive help and ensures that these videos reach more people who are curious about the big questions. Your support is what keeps this channel going, and I appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's talk about why life on Mars might be the worst news humanity could ever receive. To understand this, we need to talk about something called the Great Filter. The Great Filter is a concept that tries to explain a paradox. The universe is unbelievably vast, filled with trillions of stars and potentially even more planets. Statistically, intelligent life should be common. Yet, when we look out into the cosmos, we see ... nothing. A great, silent emptiness. The Fermi paradox, as it's known, asks, where is everybody? The Great Filter theory proposes that somewhere along the long evolutionary path, from simple non-living matter to a spacefaring galaxy-colonizing civilization, there is a barrier, a filter. This filter is an evolutionary step that is so incredibly difficult to overcome that almost no species ever makes it past. This could be the leap from non-life to simple life, the jump to complex multicellular organisms, the development of intelligence, or something else entirely. The key question is, where on this timeline does the Great Filter lie? Is it behind us, or is it still ahead of us? This is where the discovery of life on Mars becomes so critical. Think about it. If we find simple, microbial life on Mars, something that evolved completely independently from life on Earth, what does that tell us? It suggests that the emergence of life itself isn't the Great Filter. It means that life might actually be common throughout the universe, springing up on any planet with the right conditions. On the surface, that sounds wonderful, doesn't it? The universe is teeming with life, but hold on. If simple life is common, and yet the universe is silent, that pushes the Great Filter further down the timeline. It means the filter isn't in our past, it's in our future. It implies that the really hard step is somewhere between where we are now, a technologically advanced civilization on a single planet, and becoming a multiplanetary starfaring species. And what could that filter be? Self-destruction, nuclear war, runaway climate change, a bioengineered pandemic, an out-of-control AI. The list of potential self-inflicted apocalypses is long and terrifying. If we find life on Mars, it would be a cosmic warning sign. It would mean that countless civilizations before us likely reached our level of technological prowess, and then, they all failed. They all hit the same wall. They all went extinct before they could ever make their presence known to the galaxy. The silence of the universe would no longer be a mystery. It would be a graveyard. Finding simple life on Mars would be like walking through a forest and seeing that every single tree is cut down right before it reaches a certain height. You'd start to worry about your own chances of growing that tall. In this scenario, the more complex the life we find on Mars, the worse the news is for us. If we found fossils of complex animals, it would be even more terrifying. It would mean that even developing complex biology isn't the filter. The filter is almost certainly something that happens at our stage of development. This is why, paradoxically, the best news we could possibly get from Mars is that it is, and always has been, completely and utterly sterile. A dead rock. That would suggest that the Great Filter is behind us. It would imply that the jump from non-living chemicals to life, or perhaps from simple cells to complex ones, is the incredibly rare event. It would mean we are one of the first, if not the first, to have made it this far. The universe would be our oyster, an empty frontier waiting for us. The silence would be an invitation, not an epitaph. And we are on the verge of getting an answer. The Perseverance rover on Mars is doing incredible work. It's not just taking pictures, It's a mobile geological laboratory. Recently, it has been exploring an ancient river delta in Jezero Crater, a place where, billions of years ago, water flowed and deposited layers of sediment, and within those layers, Perseverance has found rocks rich in organic molecules, the building blocks of life. Even more tantalizing, it has observed patterns in these rocks that, on Earth, are often produced by microbial communities. These are called stromatolites, layered structures created by colonies of microbes. Now, to be clear, this is not definitive proof of life. These patterns could have been formed by non-biological geological processes, but it's a giant, flashing signpost that says, dig here. Perseverance is drilling core samples of these fascinating rocks and sealing them in ultra-clean tubes. These samples are being left in a designated spot on the Martian surface, a sort of message in a bottle for a future mission. The plan, a joint effort between NASA and the European Space Agency, is to launch a sophisticated series of missions to retrieve these samples and bring them back to Earth for analysis in our most advanced laboratories. This is the Mars Sample Return Mission. It's the moment we finally get to put Martian rock under a microscope and look for the definitive, undeniable signs of past or present life. This could happen within the next decade or so. We are that close to potentially changing our understanding of our place in the universe forever. And when those samples arrive, we'll face a monumental choice. If they contain Martian microbes, we celebrate. But it will be a nervous celebration, a toast to a universe full of life, but also a universe full of failure. A universe where our own odds of long-term survival just got a whole lot worse. We would have to look at every global challenge we face: climate change, political instability, technological risks, not just as problems to be solved, but as potential manifestations of the Great Filter. It would lend an incredible urgency to becoming a multiplanetary species, to spread out beyond Earth, so that one catastrophe can't wipe out all of humanity. Speaking of being prepared and organized for whatever challenges lie ahead, I have a quick and exciting announcement. For a while now, I've been working on a project behind the scenes, something I designed to solve a problem I face every day: chaos. And today, I'm thrilled to officially launch the Black Hole Bag. This isn't just another backpack. I designed it from the ground up to be the ultimate tool for organization and durability. It's made from sustainable, ultra-tough materials and has a pocket for everything: your laptop, your camera gear, your notebooks, your water bottle. It's designed to keep your life in order, whether you're navigating a busy city or planning for a future among the stars. It's sleek, minimalist, and built to last a lifetime. If you're tired of digging through a bottomless pit of a bag, the Black Hole Bag is for you. There's a link in the description below where you can check it out and support the channel in a massive way. I poured my heart into this, and I think you're going to love it. Now, back to our impending cosmic verdict. What if the Mars samples are sterile? What if, after all this searching, we find nothing? The silence from Mars would echo the silence from the stars. It would be a lonely conclusion, but also a hopeful one. It would mean that we are special, rare, perhaps even unique. The responsibility would be immense. If we are the only intelligence in this corner of the galaxy, or even the entire galaxy, then the survival and flourishing of consciousness rests on our shoulders. We would be the guardians of the universe's mind, the sole custodians of meaning in a vast, unthinking cosmos. The pressure would be enormous, but it would be a pressure born of potential, not of doom. So, as we watch the data trickle back from Perseverance and await the day we can study Mars up close, remember what's at stake. We are not just looking for little green men or microscopic fossils. We are looking for a reflection of our own fate. Are we the inheritors of a silent, empty universe, destined to fill it with life and purpose? Or are we just the next in a long line of cosmic failures, destined to flicker out before we ever truly shine? The answer is waiting for us, buried in the red dust of Mars, and it will either be the most liberating or the most terrifying discovery in human history. What do you think? Are you hoping we find life on Mars, or are you hoping we don't? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I read as many as I can. Thank you so much for watching, for your curiosity, and for your support. Don't forget to check out the Black Hole Bag, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay curious.